Greetings from Paraguay. This is a very personal video. In 2020, my wife and I made a decision that changed our lives. We decided to leave Europe, not because we had to, but because we felt something was changing. For us, it started with simple questions. Why are living costs increasing every year? Why are taxes going up, but freedom feels like it's going down? Why does government control seem to expand into every aspect of life? Digital IDs, central bank digital currencies, more regulation, more monitoring. Maybe you recognize that feeling. It wasn't one big dramatic event. It was a slow realization. If we stayed, our future would become more expensive, more restricted, and less predictable. And when you start thinking about retirement, about pensions, about what happens in 10 or 20 years, you begin to look at things differently. We didn't want to wait until it was too late to move. Europe is beautiful, but it's expensive. High income tax, high social contributions, high energy prices, inheritance taxes, capital gains taxes. You work hard your whole life, and a very large part of your money flows away to the system. We started asking ourselves, is there a way to enjoy financial freedom? Legally reduce that pressure? What if we could live better for less? Then there's lifestyle. We wanted more space, less stress, less pressure, a calmer rhythm, a place where life feels human again, where people are not constantly in a hurry, where you are not just a number in a system. Climate also played a role. Paraguay has a warm climate, but not all year round. Long springs and summers with outdoor living, autumns and cool winters never freezing. No natural disasters, no hurricanes, no earthquakes, no volcanoes. That matters more than people think. I've made a separate video about climate in Paraguay. Paraguay is by far the safest country in Latin America, much safer than lots of US or European countries. Politically stable, economically stable, and relatively calm. Not strategically important on the world stage. It stays out of global conflicts, and that gives quiet security. Places where you can walk alone at night, without risk. Of course, like anywhere, you choose where you live carefully. But overall, it's a country that minds its own business, and that was important for us. I've made a separate video on safety in Paraguay. Paraguay has had political continuity for many years. It's not a country constantly reinventing itself with radical shifts. Regulation exists, but it's lighter. There is less interference in daily life. There is still a sense of personal freedom. You feel it. I've made a separate video on freedom in Paraguay. The economy is simple but solid. Agriculture, energy, industry. Paraguay produces massive amounts of hydroelectric energy. Electricity is very cheap and sustainable. Energy independence is strong, and that creates stability. I've made a separate video on energy and sustainability in Paraguay. 3 of the biggest differences. Low, simple taxes and only on local income. Foreign income is exempt. That means income generated outside Paraguay is generally not taxed locally. For entrepreneurs, investors, and people planning retirement, that changes everything. I've made a separate video on taxes in Paraguay. Low cost of living, high quality of life. It allows you to structure your life in a smarter way. I've made a separate video on cost of living in Paraguay. So, in conclusion to the question, why Paraguay? No country is perfect. But for us, Paraguay offers the right balance between freedom, stability, taxes, cost of living, quality of life, climate and present and future security. I have made a separate video on daily life in Paraguay. Now I'm very curious about you. Write in the comments. What country do you currently live in? And which countries are you considering? Let's make this an open conversation. And if you want more videos about relocating, lifestyle, costs, safety, and real experiences here in Paraguay, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. It helps the channel grow so more people who are thinking about emigrating can find it too. In the next video, I go deeper into one specific topic, the climate in Paraguay. You'll find the link in the description below. See you there.